All right, happy Monday, everybody. You tired of hearing my voice yet? I'm not tired. It's therapeutic, and it helps me practice because I tend to like stutter, sound unprofessional. So the more I do it, the better it is. But you got to take my word for it and trust me because I'm a professional. You know what I mean? All right. I mean, I want to shout out to Shady Shay and his content because he's always genuine. He's this guy from Africa, I think Nigeria, and he's living currently living in the UK. He might be living there permanently. I think he has like strong ties to the country, and it's cool. You get like an unbiased, opinion from the guy because he's an immigrant living in like a westernized European country. You know, but then like that aside, let's get on to the topic. Winners and losers. Winners oftentimes had, their parents as winners, not so much anymore because of like, I think like when it comes to the previous generation versus the newer generation, like the consolidation of having a population of people, like let's say going to public school, they're like, taking public transit together, and then it's just like, okay, you go from meeting like, 5, 10, 15 people to like, 50 to 100 people casually per day. And then like that does that to you where your access to like, maybe illicit substances, maybe like, bad things, alcohol, whatever, partying. It's just like it gets increased, right? Like one of the biggest fears is like getting like a lot of money, right? And then I have kids and then I don't know how to raise them. And because, we have a lot of money, like that kind of world, like the access to the world, access, excuse me, is available to them. So they're just gonna get corrupted by going around, and I guess becoming metropolitan. I get like the best phrase for it would be becoming liberal or becoming uh yeah, democratic, I guess. Which is odd to say at first, but then when you realize how militarized they are, you know, the burning of like, Tesla cars, the constant assault on Donald Trump from the media, and like pretty much anybody who supports him, like even vaguely, like people who don't support him get attacked, but like it's this kind of weird thing where we're starting to see the difference between having people who are winners and then having people who are losers. So in the case of people who are at a loss or feel, slighted, like they kind of have this mentality that they could do no wrong now. And I think it's been perpetuated by the media to say, hey, look, the downtrodden, the voices of the unheard, they need to be listened to. And it's mostly like this parasitic relationship they have with these people to gain more power from their sympathy, and then like, the advertisements favor them, at least classically. I kind of wonder like if the advertisers like they don't want to appear non-partial, then why did they like completely side with one side before? And it's kind of weird because we have like, George Soros and then Klaus Schwab, like these two people who are, of questionable background influencing your life and telling you how to live based off of their decisions, and like influencing your world leaders, right, to do as they please. And I say that it's odd because they're gone now. Mostly, like, I knew they weren't going to be around forever, but it's kind of unceremonious how Klaus Schwab was like not only removed from his position in the WEF, yeah, that's what it is, the COVID scare thingy, scare crew, and then he's getting investigated for corruption or something like that, which is rich because I don't like any of these people. Like, what's the point of me, like, you telling me this? It's like, I don't trust any of these people. They've influenced, like, the politics of my country and the countries of other people. And, like, they obviously tried to throw the election in America and failed miserably in Canada. Not so, not so good here. I mean, we got a prime minister who literally got into power through, like, the back door. Like, kid you not, like the guy was prime minister by being like friends with the prime minister. And then he ran in a party where no one challenged his power because he's the guy who pushed the carbon tax. But that's not what I'm talking about here with the winners and the losers. I live in Canada. We're used to losing. We're used to the losses. We'll come back from the ashes like a phoenix. No, we won't. But yeah, so in America, you have the Hassan versus Ethan Klein thing. And not to touch too much on it, but like I said before, like you shouldn't have talked to these people. And it's kind of weird of seeing this interview because I could not get past the first minute. Like it wasn't even me watching the interview, it was me watching like someone recapping it. I think it was either Asmongold or it was a bunch of videos I was watching about it because it was like I couldn't even get through it. I was just like every so often I just turned it off 'cause it just makes me angry. Like it sounds like one of those types of people who like purposely tries to get you angry to make you seem like he's winning the argument. And that's why like I think like him and pretty much anybody like him, you shouldn't even talk to. You shouldn't even entertain the idea of competence. It's just you're talking to a terrorist mouthpiece who will benefit from the death of a certain type of people, and they are the aforementioned losers. You know, we are. It's just the way it is. It's like they start a fight, they obviously lose it. Nobody wants to tell them the hard truth. It's like, hey, buddy, you want to like tone it down a little bit. Like your losses are a little humiliating, right? But then all around the world, you see all these people showing up for their support of them. Like the flags are waving, people are cutting off like cars in traffic. They're attacking people. People are waving around the Palestinian flag. Like it's just to incite a special kind of reaction. So in this video from Shady Shay, he's I don't know how I'm gonna link this. I'm sorry, I'm kind of new to this YouTube game, so I'm just gonna shoot this video and make a comment, and then in my comment section, you'll see a link to the video. Sorry, it's so unprofessional, but I make these videos on my PlayStation because it's just like whatever. That's the going thing nowadays, which is ironic because Hassan does this exact same thing. Like everybody does the exact same thing. They play these games and then they pretend to be intellectual on the side. Look, I would just admit that I'm just like a guy who speaks his opinion, who plays games casually as like a hobby of mine. It's more like a habit because I do it too much, and I want to make a career out of it. So that's my excuse. But like whatever. I'm not trying to say there's limitation to what you can do and what you can show online. I'm just like pop culture. I play video games. Look at me. Listen to my voice. Listen to my opinions. It's very important. Anyways, so Bill Clinton in this video that Shady Shay was doing a reaction to. He was doing a conference, I think in the Democratic, running for Biden. So this was during the presidential run for re-election, so Biden versus Trump. And he was saying like, yeah, they were gonna give Palestine to the Palestinian people, like 96% of the land, like all the coast, all of like, the holy areas, whatever, and just give 4% to the Jewish people as like a place for them to like maintain refuge after World War II. And they said no. And this is like a part of history that like a lot of people want to omit is that peace was wanted by one side. And like I said in the beginning, like there is one side that is overwhelmingly, like not everybody on obviously both sides are gonna have people with differing opinions, but like overall, there's one side that is overwhelmingly pushing for a ceasefire, peace, having maybe a two-state solution, and the other side, which is, the side of Hassan. And I also made this video. Oh man, I love the internet. I love the internet because I can just like come and talk to you guys, or just like talk to myself, most likely, about things that I see, right? So this debate has been like, the talk of the internet for about 2, 3 days, maybe a week now. I don't know when it came out. I think it's pretty recent, to be fair. And I saw, damn it. Okay, excuse me for a second. Like, I saw a video on Asmongold's page about this. 4.5 hours. Okay, like I said, Asmongold, it literally is genuine. There is no doubt in my mind now. I would go insane. I would need a straitjacket. I would be like doing terrorist attacks on both Jewish people and Muslim people. Both. If you made me fucking do that, dude, I would do that for real. I would. No, I wouldn't. I'm just joking. But like, in all honesty, that is literal insanity. You cannot tell me that trying to make sense of something and it takes you 4.5 hours, and you can imagine having his editors look over it, having to like render it, doing all this crap over it. And yeah, like the man is like, he has like a high-end computer. Never mind. I just do all my shit on PlayStation 5. Never mind. Probably just does it in like a second. But like even still, like, like all the effort that he just puts into that 4.5 hour something long video. I mean, if obviously, I suggest that you watch everybody. Shady Shay, Asmongold, like even Fratanga plays, like all these people who I'm like, shouting out, Amatsu, Ryu. Yeah, go subscribe to them, watch them. I'm going to put them also in my comment section because I don't know. Well, I did before. I added them on PlayStation tags, and then I went to YouTube to check if it was there. It didn't work. So I have to do it, I don't know, on the comment section in my videos, or just like add it in later when I edit videos. If I could do that with my description for videos, just edit it, maybe just put it in there. I'll do it like that. So like back to Asmongold, right? Like so for him to like want to figure out, because he's trying to remain as neutral as possible, and obviously he had that controversial take where obviously, and I have to say this, even though he himself, and of course, disclaimer, I am my own entity with no affiliation to Asmongold or anybody in America or Texas or whatever. Just to throw that out there, I'm just this independent YouTuber who likes to play Monster Hunter and Armored Core. And yeah, so with that out of the way, he was absolutely right. Every single thing he said, absolutely right. And anybody who thinks otherwise, sorry, man. It's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. And it sucks. It must suck because this is one of those cases where you have to understand that there are people who are born into this and they have no choice but to throw themselves into like, into the fray, basically in front of gunfire and stuff, metaphorically and physically, because they have a cultural obligation, I suppose. But it's like, again, the winners and the losers, right? So what do I think about this? Well, from personal experience, I grew up around like a lot of Jewish people, and even though like a lot of them were nice to me, there were like a bunch of them who were like fucking, dickweeds, asswipes, whatever, right? And what I surmise from that is they aren't that much different from the people that are trying to kill them. Not all of them, obviously, but what I'm saying is like the mentality that you would have with some of them is the same as the ones who are like the terrorists who want to kill like all Jewish people, like all of Israel, etc., etc., right? And this is an important distinction to make because when you realize that they're basically both kind of similar, almost one and the same, but then like you're gonna have individuals who are like very much neutral against yada yada yada, but like when you see how similar they are, you understand like the idea of winners and losers, right? Because when you think about it, if you were born as one religion, you would be a winner. If you're born as the other religion, you're right. And is it really your fault for being born into what you were being born into? And the funny part, I wanted to get to the good part. Excuse me, I got something in my throat. Give me a second. Let me use this inhaler so I can clear it. I'm sorry. I'm trying to be as professional as humanly possible. It's like Monday, so give me a break. Plus, like all this YouTube stuff, data and videos, and I have to make not compilations. I gotta watch it and then play video games and pretend that like I have something important to say as I play these video games. I'm like 39 playing video games. Listen to me. I have my things are important to say. Okay, use this in here. 1 second. Ah, no more asthma for me. Well, I don't have, but like no more. Never, never gonna get it. Now back to what I was talking about. The funny part. Oh man. So this debate has been swimming around. Like I already said that. But like it got the attention of this guy who honestly I didn't think I'd ever see again. And like when I saw him, I did not recognize him at all. He just like had long hair, had a little bit of facial hair. He just like looked like, typical, gamer dude guy, maybe he chills in his basement, parents' basement type of shit, that type of look, right? Like, guy straight out of the 90s. So I saw this guy, and he's literally calling for violence against Ethan Klein. And I was just like, what? On Twitch, too. And then I suddenly realized, like, Twitch, with their whole favoritism with Hassan, and, like, the whole, you know, and you know what it is at Twitch, right? Like, Amaranth said it best. Um, Her major supplier or donator for money was from the Middle East, specifically Turkey in her case. But like, you know, Hassan he's bringing in that viewership from, you know, that place, and they're donating money to him, whether they're like just like average guys or like some like son of a oil baron or rich prince of Dubai or something like that along those lines, donating into his streams and stuff and paying the salary of the Twitch, staff. So it's more than evident that he's gonna run his mouth. This guy who called for like Ethan to be violence to be put upon him, let's just say. And that's gonna be it because we live in the world of winners and losers. It's just the way it is. And if you think that like anything is gonna happen to this guy for saying these things, or if he's gonna get banned or suspended or like anything, I'm sorry, dude. Um, Let me just wrap this up a little bit because I'm running out of time. So I said before, and I'll say this again, Ethan, and pretty much anybody else out there, you just need to stop speaking to like people who want to instigate this kind of reaction out of you, because you kind of know where you are in life, where you're gonna have people who win and people who lose. And it's not necessarily your fault, whether it's one way or the other. Like, some countries are rich, some countries are poor. You know, I get a prime minister I didn't like. You know what I mean? America gets to have Trump, right? But like to a lot of people, Trump's not the right choice. You know, and to a lot of people, like old people, Carney is the man. Uh, yeah, we all can't be winners and losers. You know what I mean? But in the case of like when you understand that you have like a, I wouldn't say unfair, but an undesirable advantage over somebody, because it's like you don't necessarily want to rub it in sometimes, right? Like maybe some, like just take an approach where you're not necessarily in their face about it, and you kind of ignore them and move on with your life, because this isn't going to solve itself, right? You're not going to change anything, and the best approach is to understand that if you want to like go ahead in life and figure things out, like you have to free your own children of the corruption of like money and society and like things like this that like influence people to make them feel like this parasocial relationship. Like I don't, like a guy who doesn't know Ethan Klein, right? Who's never met the guy, never sat down and talked to the guy, right? Just knows him vaguely through a friend of a friend. Like I don't know actually his relationship with Ethan Klein, if he's ever met him, but this is like the same dork who got like cucked out by like Bad Bunny, and there's like videos on it of it online. I saw it on Sensitive Society's channel. I got crap. I gotta link all these things. I'm gonna watch this video again just so I remember everybody who I'm shouting out, and like just do the hashtag thingy in the comment section if that works. And if not, then I mean, happy Monday, I guess. But if it comes down to it, we're living in a world where you're just trying to keep calm while everyone's going crazy around you. And the best thing to do is to just try and keep your own children safe, even if you don't have them yet, from the corruption of money and society. Thanks for watching my video, and have a nice day.